Okay, Chelsea, no option this time. You told me we're going into a two-parter. So I decided that I'm going to kind of go into a two-parter too, in that these are going to be kind of paired stories. In that,
Well, I don't like that you don't give me a choice. I haven't been disappointed with the choices that you've made for me.
well, I feel like some of the stories have disappointed you in that they reveal aspects of the world, but
It's disappointing in a way that I wasn't able to choose, as well as am disappointed in humanity, but not disappointed with your choice.
Okay,
There's a difference.
fair enough. Well, these are going to be a pairing in the arc of the rich person's emotions, a saga that we followed in the Fringey minis. However,
I
this
do
is
like that category.
Yeah, I like that category too, and
Yeah.
it's usually fun. However, this is the opposite side of the rich person's emotions in how other people have to react to sea level changes.
I feel like that's a side I don't like to explore.
And very few people do, and the stories
Mm,
stay hidden on it for
yeah.
the most part.
Yeah. I'm feeling conflicted at this time, but let's see what you got.
Okay, this article comes from The Week UK. The week spelled like the week, the days of the week.
Oh, not like not
Yeah,
strong.
we did have it from another source, but that source has a paywall that I cannot breach at the moment. So we are here unless you guys want to pay us miraculously in the next 30 seconds or so to get that other one.
Anything?
No, nothing yet.
Okay.
So we're just going to go ahead with this one.
There's still like 20 seconds.
Yeah, they still got it. I'm going to start reading though.
Okay.
This is from July 31st, 2025, written by Davika Rao. Article title, Tuvalu is being lost to climate change. Other countries will likely follow. The island nation of Tuvalu is becoming the first country to be completely lost due to rising sea levels. However, the country is possibly only the first of many without actions taken to mitigate climate change. Tuvalu, located in Oceania, is expected to be completely underwater by 2050.
What?
The island nation with a population of 11,000. Once you see pictures of Tuvalu, it's going to make sense, but we'll talk about it at the end here.
Okay.
The island nation with a population of just 11,000 is setting a precedent to become the first country to have to permanently evacuate. To do this, Australia and Tuvalu signed the Philippine Union Treaty, which is an, quote, agreement that provides for a migration scheme that will allow 280 Tuvaluans per year to settle in Australia as permanent residents, end quote, said Wired. This is the first climate visa of its kind. Quote, we received extremely high levels of interest in the ballots with 8,750 registrations. Basically everybody that lived there, which includes family members of primary registrants, end quote, with my additions in there. The Australian High Commission in Tuvalu said in a statement, the visa operates through a ballot system and, quote, will grant beneficiaries the same health, education, housing, and employment rights enjoyed by Australian citizens, end quote, said Wired. Tuvaluans, which I just gotta say, one of the greatest nationality prefixes I've ever heard. Tuvaluans is great.
Yeah, that
rolls
does,
right off the tongue.
Yeah, it does sound really nice.
And we're losing that, which is so sad.
Yeah. Well, they would still be Tuvaluans, just not in
Will
Tuvalu.
they? There's not that many of them. It's going to be like one generation and they'll be gone.
That's, well, your ancestry, though.
Yeah. Tuvaluans will also be able to return to their home country if conditions allow. However, Tuvalu is perhaps just the first of many countries or regions that will have to evacuate because of climate change. Quote, from historic droughts to catastrophic floods, these extreme variations disrupt lives, economies, and entire ecosystems. End quote, Albert van Dijk? Dijk? D-I-J-K. I have never heard that as a Dutch name.
I have no idea how to...
Dijk. Dijk. That's what we're going with. A professor at Australian National University said to Wired, unfortunately, quote, Tuvalu is the canary in the coal mine, and that coal mine is rapidly filling with water, end quote, said Vice. While not on the scale of an entire country, there have been other times when almost full populations have made moves to evacuate where they lived. In 2024, approximately 1,200 members of the indigenous Guna community relocated from the island of Gardi Sugdub off the coast of Panama to the mainland. This was also due to rising sea levels slowly sinking the island. This was, quote, one of the first planned migrations in Latin America due to climate change, end quote, said AFP. In a similar vein, nearly 300 people moved from Newtok, Alaska, because the village was perched on permafrost, which began to thaw dangerously and erode the banks. More countries are likely to become less habitable in the future. By 2070, over, quote, 3 billion people could find themselves living outside of humanity's climate niche, end quote, said the San Francisco Chronicle. Island nations are especially at risk. The Maldives are an archipelago comprising almost 1,200 islands, most of which are under 4 feet above sea level. Wow. Making them especially vulnerable to changes in ocean levels. Quote, even a minimal rise in water levels can lead to a major change, such as coastal erosion, salinization of drinking water sources, and more frequent flooding, end quote, said Ładna Sprawi, which, okay, it's a Polish name, it doesn't sound fake. Wait, okay, Ładna Sprawi is a Polish publication, it's not even a Polish person, never mind. As preparation, the Maldives government has, quote, explored plans to purchase land on higher grounds in other countries, end quote, said NASA. Why would NASA say that? Why didn't the Maldives? Anyhow, I don't know if I trust the weak UK yet as a great source. Almost every other island nation faces similar risks, including Kiribati, the Solomon Islands, Fiji, and Vanuatu. The US is also not free from the threat of relocation. Several coastal states, such as Florida, Louisiana, Texas, Alabama, and Mississippi, are at risk of losing their coastlines. New York City, Chicago, and several cities in California are also sinking, which could in time require evacuation. In addition, the Gulf of Mexico is rising 3 times faster than the global average, according to a study published in the journal Nature. Without measures to combat climate change, mass migration may be the only way to survive. And that's the end of the article. I found it really interesting actually at the end there where they include Chicago, which is not a coastal city, it's on a lake. So they're sinking for a very different reason, I would think.
What, any idea what reason that one is?
It could be that they're using too much groundwater and it's sinking that way.
Weird. And you know, there's a handful of states that I always forget are coastal states, like Mississippi. But definitely a bad side of global warming that, I mean, you talk about rising sea levels and whatnot, and you think, yeah, it's so far in the future, but you think, you know, with this article, this is in the next, what did they say, 2050?
2050, 25 years.
25 years, we're going to lose whole entire populations. And I did pull up Tuvalu. Like, I do see how this could I mean, it was teetering on it the whole time, I think.
No, Chelsea,
to fall in the ocean.
Its highest point is 6 feet above sea level.
And it's very tiny.
Yeah. It's very tiny. Long and thin.
It is a strip of sand above the ocean, pretty much. I don't know that I would like to live there.
If you ever told me to design a highway that goes across the ocean, that's what I would make it look. I'd make it look like Tuvalu.
Yeah, it would, with a big enough wave, it would be gone.
Yeah.
It makes me nervous.
I will say, apparently, Australia and Tuvalu have had these talks going back to the 1960s.
You would have to.
Just because it is such a low level.
Yeah, you would have to.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Something you don't think about. Well, I mean,
no.
Where I am, it's not that. There's a threat here, yes, because I am close to the ocean.
Well, not where you are specifically, but you're in the city itself, yeah.
It could be if it rises far enough, yes.
And yeah, it's just like, there's no point in saving this island, importantly, because I don't think any really rich people live there.
Yeah. And it's only worth saving if rich people are there.
They're not shoring up the beaches there.
Yeah. How true.
And yeah, it's funny that they're talking about, like, basically the entire country did sign up to leave.
Well, you would have to. Who would be so crazy to not? The captain of the island.
You say that, but people are, like, streaming into Florida, which is basically in the exact same situation.
Yeah, but I mean, Florida people are Florida people.
Yeah, but how do we know Tuvaluans aren't just the Floridians of the Oceania area?
Because I feel like nobody is the Florida of anywhere but Florida.
That's a fair point.
Only Americans can be so American, I feel like. And then there's Floridans. Floridians?
Yeah, I think that's how you say it.
I don't know, but they're a
you
special
guys,
group
you guys
of
got
people.
48 hours. Go
Yeah.
check if you're at risk in the next 70 or so years of falling into the ocean. If not, hey, keep listening. Bye.